The next one, what's a nice way to tell my mother-in-law this? My mother-in-law is the queen of overspending money. She is constantly buying my kids clothes, but the problem is I really hate her style. She just bought my kids $800 worth of preppy boutique clothes from this online boutique, and I hate everything she bought. It's so frilly and over-the-top preppy, and if you knew me, this is literally the opposite of my style. I prefer neutral, earthy colors for my kids, and she buys frilly, puffy, monogrammed, hot pink, and neon-colored outfits for my girls. I know I probably sound ungrateful, but I'm just thinking it would be so nice if she would include me in the process of shopping for my kids. If you're going to spend close to $1,000 on a shopping spree for them, why not make sure it's stuff that I like and will actually dress them in, you know? My husband and I don't have much money, so it would be awesome if she would actually just donate the money to us to spend on our kids, or at least ask me what I like. Sometimes I feel like she knows I hate the stuff she buys, but does it anyway because she wants me to dress them a certain way. How do I communicate this to her without being rude or ungrateful? She's so sensitive, so I have to tread carefully. Now, I know that there is a strong temptation to say, you know what, gifts are gifts. No one owes you anything. You should be grateful. It's the thought that counts. So if someone gifts you something, then you should just take it and be like, hey, I'm really glad you thought of us. Thanks a lot. And then if you don't actually like it, or if you want to get rid of it, then you can donate it or just sell it or whatever. Pack it away and put it in your attic. However you want to deal with it, then you can do that. And I don't think that that's wrong. I think that there is some aspect of that is right. In general, though, if I actually cared about my mother-in-law and I cared about the amount of money that she's spending, then I would probably say, look, I'm really grateful that you thought of us, and I really appreciate you taking the time to order us cool clothes. If you want to help us out, there's a lot of ways that you could be helping us out, and there are other things that we need more than we needed the clothes. And so if you want to spend that amount of money on something in future, then please run it by us first, or feel free to run it by us first, that we at least can ensure that you don't actually waste your money, that you spend your money on things that we're going to use. And I think that it's okay to have that conversation. I do agree, and I do understand that people are sensitive and people might still take that to heart. I think I would still say it's worth having a conversation about it. I don't think it's a fight, and I don't think it needs to be an argument, and I don't think you need to go to her and say, hey, you know what, I hate your taste. I would never dress my kids in these colors. I want to dress them in something else instead. You could even say, if she really likes this boutique, that you could say something like, you know, it would be awesome if you gave us a gift card for that boutique store, and then we could pick out some items that you know our kids will actually like, and we'll be happy to dress them in. You can make suggestions and just let her know, but I think it's fine to say just FYI, right? So just so you know, and because I really don't want you to waste a ton of money, and it seems like not just a waste from our side, like that we have to deal with the stuff, but to me, I would argue a lot more from the side of, for her, it's a giant waste of money. And that's kind of unfair. Like I don't want my in-laws to be in the position where they're buying me a lot of stuff and they're spending all of their money on things that I don't need and I don't want, and I won't be keeping. That's crappy for them and crappy for us as well. And so I would just mention it. And again, if she then decides not to take it to heart, if she ignores me and continues spending $800 on clothes that I don't want to dress my kids in, then that's kind of it. She's an adult. She can spend her money on whatever she wants. But I think it's worth taking the time to talk to her about it. And I don't think it's unhealthy, and I don't think it needs to blow up. Some of the comments here. One person says, you don't get, like, there's no nice way to tell her this. Your financial issues have no relevance here. Gifts aren't about practicality or what you want. They're given by others as an act of love. You don't get to dictate those terms and maintain a healthy relationship. It sucks to get useless gifts. Sometimes things suck. You'd be completely out of line to tell another adult how to spend their money, so I would not cross that. Instead, I'd just be honest that the outfit is definitely her style, but not yours, or practical, so it'll get little use. Thanks for the items, mother-in-law, but in all honesty, I'm afraid most of this won't be used since it's not practical and our style. Then sell the items to get some value back, or donate and call it a day. I actually think if someone gives you a gift and you're like, well, you know what, to be honest, I kind of hate this, that seems to me so much worse than saying, you know what, I really appreciate you buying this for us. In future, if you want to spend money on other things, then there are other items that would be a lot more valuable for us that we would get more use out of. I think you could say that. I don't know. I guess to some people, you know, the point is that if you're honest, there's nothing cruel about being honest, and it's better to be direct and still mention it than to not be direct and to not say anything about it. But you know what? To me that sounds a little bit, in the end, if it's a taste thing, then that's just her taste, you know, and to be like, yeah, that's just, these items are not practical and we won't be dressing her in that, seems a bit more harsh to me. That said, I have kind of not really rejected clothes from my in-laws, but when my in-laws have bought us things where we're like, okay, you know what, it's actually now coming up to the end of winter and they just bought us a jacket that's too big, then we would say, you know what, we're probably not going to get a chance to put them in this one because it's like the wrong season for it, and the wrong size for the wrong season, so it's not going to match up. And I think it's okay to say that when it's like based on external factors, but when it's just based on your individual taste and you're like, well, you know what, I think that's ugly, that seems a bit harsh to me. The next one says, I would have tried to stop it by saying you just can't accept such expensive gifts. Say it makes you uncomfortable, maybe. And OP replies, yes, I have done this so many times. I've literally begged her to stop spending money on my kids. She says it is her right as a grandma to buy them whatever she wants. And then that person replies, then I just have to put my foot down, flat out say, I'm not taking these, and literally refuse to hold the item. When she tries to force it on you, I'd say, no, we're done. There's no room. Keep it. Then as a last straw, if you leave it here, I'm throwing it away. Your right as a grandma. It's your right as a parent and homeowner to refuse. Now, I think that's pretty cruel as well. If she says it's her right to buy them whatever she wants, I'd be like, okay, cool. And I would probably take the items and then I would get rid of them. I would find like some nice place to donate them, or some easy, convenient way that I don't have to store them because I don't want to store items that I'm never going to use. And that would be it. And if she's been direct about it and she said I've begged her to stop spending money and she's chosen not to, then again, she's a grown adult woman. She can decide to spend her money on whatever she wants. I think saying I'm not going to touch this is a little bit over the top. You don't need to be quite that extreme about it. And it's kind of ironic to me that people give her advice like this when she's like, I don't want to be rude or ungrateful, and my mother-in-law is really sensitive. So if your mother-in-law is really sensitive, don't treat the gifts that she buys you as if they're radioactive. That's probably not good. But in general, being direct and being open and coming at it from this position of care and consideration, and not being like, oh, it's my mother-in-law and she's buying me things, but actually being like, you know what, I actually care about my mother-in-law and I don't want her to waste her money or her time or her effort on things that I'm not going to use and that our kids aren't going to use. Then we are just going to try to direct her in the right way, and if she doesn't like it, then that's it. Then that's all you can do.